Today's video brought to you by Bakugan HQ 1998. Major thanks for hooking me up with these figures, man. Greetings, programs. Welcome back to ArcNeo Reviews. Welcome to the second of these weird little kind of double feature, reviews where I'm looking at a figure that's been out for a while and then the recent repaint that just came out. Today we're going to go ahead and take a look at Earthrise Cliffjumper as well as Worlds Collide Bumblebee. Or, most of him. I'm not sure if it's a thing due to shipping, the other shipping, or one of the two people to have this figure before me lost it, or even it just wasn't in the box. But yeah, one way or another, I'm missing a skid for Bumblebee here. Not a big deal. Gonna use Cliffjumper for the bulk of this review anyway, so yeah, Earthrise Cliffjumper. This guy was a pretty big deal when he came out, and not for any good reasons. Just to throw my 2 cents out there, do I think he was a little expensive, for a deluxe class figure? Because yes, this is a very, very small figure. I don't have any standard deluxes at hand, unfortunately, to do any size comparisons with. But this is easily the single smallest deluxe class I've ever seen. But I'm also the person who was perfectly okay with Voyager Studio Series Hot Rod being as small as he was, because he came with a lot of accessories. And to be fair, yeah, this guy does come with a 5-pack of accessories that are pretty well engineered on their own. So, literally, depending on what day you ask me, I will tell you he was a total ripoff. He should not have been $20. Or I'll say, yeah, he was perfectly acceptable. Today, I'm going to choose to remain neutral on that topic, but it is a topic worth mentioning. Yeah. This guy made a lot of people mad when he came out. I both understand, but at least at times disagree with that. That all aside, though, yeah, it's a really, really clean, really nicely done car mode, actually. I have to give a lot of props. I really like the clear windshield, actually. Yes, it does expose some of the transformation joints and stuff inside, but I'm always a fan of clear windshields. It looks nice, in my opinion. Though that does mean, yes, this whole top panel is clear plastic, just painted. In which case, yeah, their color matching there was freaking on point that day. So, props there. They did a decent job there. Go ahead and remove all of his weapon parts. We'll look at those more later. Oh, lovely. Come on. Okay. Not on-screen breakage, thankfully, just pieces coming apart. Yeah, that part plugging into the bottom there is pretty tight. But, I mean, there's not a whole lot to say about it. Maybe could have used a hit or two of extra paint, just a little bit right there at the intake. For some reason, this wheel does not want to stay flipped out correctly. Not a big deal, because the weight of the car itself is enough to hold it out when it's on the desk or shelf or whatever. So, it's weird, it's a little annoying, but it's not a big deal. So, yeah, I guess that's kind of it for the car mode. Really quick, here's Bumblebee. This version of Bumblebee looks exactly the same in car mode. Just, funny enough, a little bit... No, not less paint, just different paint. Because he's got the intake, but his headlights aren't painted. So, take your pick there. Oh, but they didn't paint the bumper. So, yes, he is officially less paint. And I knocked his little skid off already. And as you can see, his weapons are painted green instead of silver. So, get these off as well. And, Yeah, he doesn't have the wheel thing, though. His wheels will stay out. I guess that's kind of it. He's got a smoky, dark color for his clear windshield instead of blue. Yeah. Anyway, let's go ahead, get these guys transformed. And after dropping the camera down, here we have Bumblebee and Cliffjumper in their robot modes. And I've got to say, these are some very, very well done small scale figures. Gonna go ahead and look at B for most of this just because Bumblebee, right off the bat, fantastic head sculpt. My lighting's not wanting to show it very well, but you've got nice metal flake blue in there for the eyes, silver for the face. Sadly, only Bumblebee got the Autobot logo on his chest there. That's a little weird, but I'm very impressed with what they managed at this size. Head is on a ball joint, so you get, a little bit of wiggle, a little up and down, full rotation. Shoulders, full rotation, can move out. Just past 90-degree bend at the elbow. Rotation, wrist rotation, waist swivel. Technically an arching back due to how he transforms. Kicks forward, kicks back, kicks out. You've got a thigh swivel hidden in there. You've got 90-degree bend at the knee. No up and down at the foot, but you do have an ankle tilt. All in all, really, really good for the most part. Until you get to... Basically, there were two big points of contention on this mold. One of them was the size. I can get over the size because of all the extra accessories. We'll go over the accessories in a second. The other big problem that people had with this, and the one that... This is the one where I kind of agree with Dr. Lockdown. This should have been a go back to the drawing board moment. The entire back third of the car is just a piece. Now, I'm aware that they try to say, oh, it's a shield. This is a really, really bad shield. I've got other figures that have a piece come off and be a shield. This ain't it. That's kind of the only way I know to really put this. This is the single worst shield piece I've seen with a Transformer. It doesn't... you don't put it on in any way that you would put on a shield. You have to always do it some weird way. And even then, it's still obviously just the back of the car. I would accept this more even if they just added, somehow put an extra hinge in here so that it folds out. Let me take this bumper here and flatten it out. That way it's a little taller and it's flatter. Okay, cool. We've got a shield there. No, this is there's no way to look around the fact this is just the back of the car that they didn't figure out how to make it transform. And with the size, I don't see how they could have made it transform. Which is why I will say I agree with Dr. Lockdown. That's the point where you say, okay, let's go back to the drawing board and rework this. Not figure out how to change this one piece. Change the figure. Because, yes, there is a third-party kit you can buy that attempts to put this on an armature so that it doesn't, just come off and get stuck back on later. It barely works, and the armature is so thin that it's known for breaking if you try to actually use it. And I'm not even going to necessarily diss the people that made that. They tried. This was worth re-engineering. So I will still, unfortunately, say, ultimately, yes, I know, I'm giving my final thoughts here, and I'm not done with the video. if you want a proper small scale Bumblebee and Cliffjumper, I'm just going to say right off the bat, go look for these guys from the Generations line. As well as here, you can kind of see just how truly small these figures are. This is a Deluxe class. This is a Legends class. This guy came with an entire second figure that was a triple changer. Yeah, so you can see where the problems were with the whole size thing. But that aside, and yes, my complaints with this, these guys they're not terrible. Bring this guy in really quick so you can see. Again, really, really nice head sculpt. A lot of molded detail all over the figure too. I know I didn't really go over that, but yeah, there's a lot of nice little, greebles and stuff like that going over the robot mode. Like, these are the kind of figures that are very difficult for me to make a review on. Not like Black ArcNeo and her weird, very overt sexual overtones, but just in they're good. They truly are just good figures. But what little they did wrong is in just such a way that literally, if I stop and think about it, I start going back and forth every few minutes. So, to get past that, go ahead and keep Cliffjumper for this part. We'll go over the accessories here. Because this part is freaking awesome, actually. I do have to say. Here, I'll be a proper reviewer. This is scrapping awesome. There, I used Transformers lingo probably incorrectly. But, yeah, both of these guys come with a modular 5-piece weapon system. And it is so much fun. Obviously, you had the weird mode that we saw during the car modes, where, it basically turned this guy into Jetpack Ski Man. As I understand, that's actually a thing from, one episode of the G1 cartoon. So, props for the pointless G1 reference, I guess, in that regard. But, yeah, then, obviously, you can go ahead, put everything together. You get this massive, two-handed sniper bazooka thing. A lot of fun you can have with this. Yes, if you have blast effects, you can plug them into the end there. You can also just go ahead, take it apart like that. Give him 2 individual blasters. You can put one of these on the side of the blaster like an ammo clip if you want for whatever reason. You can... Nope, you can't quite put it on like that. But, you've got just a ridiculous amount of options with these parts. I've seen people put them together in ways to make, weird melee weapons. This piece also will fold out, and so you end up with a clip there. Clearly, I'm just shoving things together and making nothing that makes any sense. But hopefully it's at least getting the point across that if you're willing to take some time, and especially, if you've got 2 of these, 2 versions of this mold, so you've got extra parts, you've got a lot you can do in terms of just going nuts and making, ridiculous weapons. So, if these guys are worth getting is going to be incredibly subjective. Now, I will say, probably your best way to get one of these guys is either get the really, really cool looking gold bug. I can't wait for that guy to get here. Or get the Worlds Collide 4-pack. Because obviously, that way you technically don't pay full price for this guy. I guess I'm gonna force myself to take a stance here. He should have been $15. He should have been Scout class. They needed to not get rid of Scout class. Like, that in between Legends and Deluxe, that was a useful size class. They should have kept it around. This guy was a perfect chance for them to bring it back, and they wasted that chance to bring it back. With Hot Rod, he's got enough extra engineering and extra accessories and stuff that I don't feel like he doesn't feel like he was a letdown for the price. These guys, especially because of, again, the fact that they didn't even properly engineer them, for that reason alone, I'm going to say find a way to get these at a discount. If you get them at a discount, they're great, they're fun. This is going to be like a source of a lot of time and enjoyment if you're willing to, mess with it. But don't pay full price for them. They're good. They're definitely very good, but they're not $20 good. Gonna go ahead and just end this here before I make any more people mad. Thanks for watching. See you later.